That's what I get for doing a test sheet before the stream. Get my head down and forget what time it is. Are we up? Testing 1, 2, 3. Aha. Hey, don't tell anybody else. Don't tell anybody. Good morning, everybody. Mokuhankan IT. The usual suspects are here this morning, are they? You've got more printing on the back side of the paper happening today. I enjoyed this morning when I got up and saw the Facebook fan page. Somebody, I don't know names here, somebody's building a baron, very much like a Murasaki baron. Looks beautiful. Looks very, very interesting. Very well done. I especially like the idea of putting the beautiful paper inside the ategawa. Looks like something made by a Goto-san student. Oh, this is number 19. Oh, I can't read. It's such a light green, I can't see it on my screen, the name there. No idea, I'm sorry. Thank you, Dave. That was my baron. Yeah, it looks really, really, really good. I'd love to try that. When I said I'm worried about the resiliency, well, whatever, I'm concerned about that, but the Murasaki barons, that's one thing they're really noted for. It's a feature and it's a bug sometimes. The coil Goto-san used for those Murasakis is really, really, really strong. And sometimes it's too strong for us. Well, I couldn't do what I'm doing now with that baron because it would just tear. In fact, a few years back, that's why he started making what he calls the Murasaki soft, because we'd all been not complaining, but just commenting that the Murasakis were so strong, they were sometimes dangerous to use. So then he started making the Murasaki soft, which does have a softer twine inside. That too looks beautiful. That paper inside, what a wonderful idea. Nobody will ever see it, but it looks so cool. Do we ever repair wood blocks? If you mean like chips and pops and stuff, yes, all the time. Well, not all the time, but we do, yes, whenever there's an error. Now that question comes up all the time, and I keep posting a link to one of our blog entries we did a while back that shows a block repair because of a carving mistake. That should maybe go into this bot thing, you know. It's this bot that is running on this string here. Let me find the link, because it should be something that's reflected here all the time. Let me see. Just a sec. I don't know where it is now. I know. There's so many new entries on our blog that I can't find anything. Just a second, excuse me. Here we are. Is this the page? Yes. Actually, somebody's probably already beat me, but here's a link. This is, somebody should put this up so that we can find it easily in the future. It's one of our blog posts showing, now my block is dry here, showing a block repair. Block is dry now. Don't want to dump too much water on it. Oh, Jed's here this morning. Good morning, sir. I don't know. I don't have a count. We're looking. It's not so many yet, you know. It's about 2 dozen or something. We're just starting. It's waiting for me to do the video. And I've just been, I don't know, whatever. I'm going to try and get to it this weekend if I can. We're running really, really, really late on that, you know. Sorry. I know it's important stuff. I can't postpone it much longer, you know. Also, Jed, you weren't here yesterday. You should have been here yesterday. I don't have it in front of me now to show you. We, the first boss fight sprint came to life yesterday. Block's too wet. Let me see if I can grab it. It's probably on the next bench. Hang on a sec. Yeah, sure. Yeah, just a minute. This is the first, this is the block proof. This is done, she's done it quite light. Hang on a sec. Which was the one closest to the real one? Hang on. Those still don't have the, here we are. This has got all kinds of notes and stuff all over it. This is the first proof. It's still a bit light. I want her to use more saturated colors. But here's the first, it's going to actually work. Is it focusing or not? I can't tell. It's not going to focus, is it? There's lots and lots of notes, lots of things that are still wrong. There's lots of places color is splashing in places it shouldn't go. This is the orange is too strong, you can't see the red. There's still lots and lots and lots of issues. It's the first test batch. She made 4 sheets running through. John-san was here with us, and she's printing, and he's doing some cleanup carving, stuff like that. It's going to be a nice one. It's going to be a nice one. Farther away is better. Okay. Also, Jed gave us this time lots of scratch carving. I don't know what this is. This is dust or water. I guess it's dust, isn't it? Boiling up on the bottom. And there's lots of nice scratch carving in there. It's really good. A lot of it will be buried at the bottom. The bottom has to be darker. A much darker gradation has to come in at the bottom. And the skin's wrong. It's a bit too yellowish. He doesn't look genki enough. Doesn't look, healthy enough. And also, there's not enough difference. We've got the blue of the monster and the blue of the tunic and the blue of the background are too similar. So there's going to be more differentiation. So there's lots and lots and lots of issues here still to go. But we're on the way. We're on the way. And the other news on this is the first one. Then there's the dragon, what's it called? Dragon, I forget something, the name of the print, Jed. Dragon something, I don't know. Those blocks are ready. The paper is wet for proofing. Proofing on that starts on Monday. Yeah, Dragon's Gift. The proofing starts on Monday morning because the block set is here and it's all ready. And then 1 week later, the proofing starts on the serpent strikes. So the first 3 block sets are now totally ready, totally finished. No, first 4, because Colossus is now ready. I talked to Yamamoto-kun last night, and he just finished it when I talked to him. So out of the 6 prints we put in the Kickstarter campaign, 4 of them are now within striking distance of being done. It's because we have carvers now, you know. Back in 2012 or whatever it was when we were doing those, I didn't have the Asakusa shop. I was just carving every day. I sat at my workbench all day, all night carving. So those first 9 Ukiyo Heroes prints, which I carved myself, became possible. But once we get Asakusa open, that's it. That destroyed my life. Not destroyed my life, but it meant it changed my life. You know, no more carving. But now, for the people who don't know, there's 4 carvers working here now. I'm nominally a carver here. We have Kawasaki Noriko-san. She lives in Kobe. She's working full-time for us, but out of her own house down in Kobe. She's done now all the subscription prints for the past 3 years, with the exception of the few. I've popped in to make a few of them. But she's done all the rest. And she's also done the serpent strikes. Then we also have, in addition, now we have young Chon-san. I don't know his full name. He's a young Chinese boy. He was on our blog a while ago. Working by himself, he made an image of a woodblock print of Hatsune Miku and brought it to us to show us. And just blew me away. The guy's such a good carver. He's essentially tastier than me already. He doesn't have a wide range of techniques yet, but he's just so tasty already. And then we have Yumi Nagao, who is a carver who lives near here in Asakusa. And her family has been making woodblock prints since the Meiji times. And she's trained as a carver within her family. So she did the Dragon's Gift print. So we've got 4 of us carving. Our problem now, of course, is printing. We don't have printers. That's why these blocks are all stacking up now. We need competent, workman-like, efficient printing robots. Young men who will just sit here all day and just print and print and print and print and print. That's what we need now. And we can't find them. They don't exist. Which is why the boss is sitting here this morning before the shop opens, making more owls. And what I should be doing right now is making video and getting webpage ready for the next year's subscription series. Okay, that's the first side. We're going to do these, not the first side, second side. We're going to do these twice to get a deeper, rich, what was the catchphrase yesterday? Deep, rich blue. Tasty, what did I say? Can you explain tasty? Give me a hint here. What did I say? I'm sorry. Sorry to be vague. I'm not sure what I said. Oh, talking about the carver, Chon-san. Yeah. Calligraphy. Everything we carve is basically calligraphy. You know, Jed makes his stuff. Yeah, tasteful, whatever. With good taste. You can carve just a minute. All right, that's not good white balance up there. This has a better white balance. This is closer to the actual color we're seeing here in the studio. Yeah, Chonsan's carving, you know, I don't know what to explain in words. I didn't grow up doing calligraphy, I grew up doing ABCD. When I got here to do carving, and I started carving calligraphy because it was part of the print images I was making, I carved the shapes I saw. It would be a whatever, stroke, stroke, stroke. I carved those shapes. And I didn't know it at the time, but they were, whatever, cold, I don't know, hard. It didn't have taste and finesse, even though the shape was pretty much exactly the same. Chonsan grew up with a kid with a brush in his hand, whatever, you know, he's Chinese, he learned calligraphy from the beginning. So when he became a carver as a young adult, he already had the taste and the flow and the feeling of this calligraphy in his body. So his work, all the lines, the brush strokes of the characters, everything, all has this sort of taste built into it that mine took years and years and years of struggle to find. You know, it's not about the appearance, it's not about the shape. If you imagine, so suppose you're a carver, you're trying to replicate, I don't know, somebody's signature, Abraham Lincoln's signature. It's written there. You're going to carve a block to replicate this. You can cut carefully and easily along these lines and cut and match and do everything. But when you think about how the guy did it when he was writing, think of your own signature. You write your signature. There it is. That's moves and it's vivid and it's alive. Now, get a piece of paper, put it on top of that thing. Now trace it. Trace that signature. You've got to go slowly and carefully, and maybe you might get it exactly right, but that one that you've just traced, there's no way that is going to be alive. You will be able to A-B compare them and they'll be totally different. And that's the problem for us as carvers who are replicating a line that already exists that was drawn with a brush. We have to get the same line in the same place, and yet our carved lines are supposed to have that same dance that the original one had. And it's next to a mission impossible. And for me now, it's only after decades, literally decades of doing this, that I'm there. And Chonsan, he brought his first print in and it already had it. Sorry, long, wild explanation for what's really basically a simple concept, but you know, this guy is good. He's good. He's going to just blow me right out of the water. Totally, when he gets a bit more experience. Yeah, the original feel is still there, plus I hear question beeps. I got to be careful with my printing here, but let's go and have a look. What's in the question box? I think there's 2 already in there. Yep. Okay, that's 2 questions. 2 questions. I guess I can try and answer them. One's about the glue. I know I can't give you brand names on there. I just use the glue I use here is just a Japanese brand name. I know there's 2 points. When we're gluing down for the color transfers, where the areas are wide, like this block, use a very weak glue. We could use rice. Boil up some rice, smear it on, and that'll work. So a very weak glue is fine for the color block transfers. For the key line transfers, pasting the key lines on the block, you need a stronger glue. I use wood glue. It's polyvinyl chloride, the white wood glue that comes in those little squeeze bottles. I use that watered down a little bit. And also, very important, you got to moisten the block first before you put it on, so that the glue doesn't soak into the block and it'll make it difficult to print later on. So moisten the block first, water down the glue a little bit, and then glue your key block line down. The other question was a wide open question. I think I came in the other day and I thought, how on earth am I going to answer this? Just a second. He's talking about ukiyo-e. So I think somebody asked this on the YouTube channel. question was about, I don't know what expression to use here, B rank ukiyo. This is such rich blue, very nice. The question was about B rank ukiyo artists. We all know the big names: Hokusai, Hiroshige, Utamaro, Sharak. In Japan, that's the four names. That's all anybody knows. It's the four big names. But of course, back in the day, there were hundreds of people working in the field. Hundreds. Not all good, but whatever, hundreds working in the field. And there's a whole crop of interesting, beautiful, wonderful work done by the people who just, for whatever reason, didn't get famous. There's tons of great work. And two guys, they're both dead now, two men, generation before me, wrote books about this. James Michener wrote one. He called it The Floating World. And in there, he tried to talk about the history of the ukiyo by not using so much the famous guys as examples, but by using peoples whose names hadn't been, preserved or left. And then Jack Hillier did the same thing. His book, I don't remember what his book was called. I've got it in my bookshelf, haven't opened it in years. I don't remember. It's by Jack Hillier, and he did the same thing. He wrote a series of essays, about 20 essays on the field, and he picked for topics things that hadn't been talked to death or blown to death or chewed to death already. And there's a huge, huge body of work by the less famous people. And then myself, when I made my Sunimono albums back in 1999 to 2004, I did a set of 50 prints, 10 each year for 5 years. And although there are a few prints in there by the big names, my goal was to go and dig out stuff that nobody has seen before. Blowing nose sounds. I gotta blow my nose. I'm sorry. I got this cough. I got this thing, Well, anyway, I'm not sure what the question was. Are there, is there something worth digging into? Yes. There's a huge, rich ukiyo tradition. Much broader than what we know from the famous names. Some staggeringly interesting work, and it's out there if you dig around a little bit. So nice. Finally getting good at this. The Okada Yoshio blocks. No. And for two reasons, more than two reasons. Two basic reasons. One is I have possession of the blocks. I guess they're mine. Okada-san gave them to me. Hi Dave, these are yours. You can have these. So the pieces of wood are in my basement, and I have the pieces of wood. That doesn't give me any rights at all to sell images. The pictures are his images. Before, when they were published by that publishing company, Yudo, they must have come to a deal on royalties and stuff like that. So Okada-san owns the rights to the images. So I can't just get those blocks, bring them over here to our workshop, pull prints off and sell them in the shop. I have no rights to do that. So no, at the moment I can't do anything with it. The second thing is just time. Those are staggeringly difficult, complex prints. And it would just it's beyond belief. It would be months and months of work to take an edition from one of those blocks. So no, at the moment there's nothing they can do except sleep. What I would really, really like to do is ask him for permission. Look, can we do a training session? Can we pull, a test? Can we pull a test batch of prints from one of those blocks and video it, and show the people the blocks and show people the proof stages as a training, a training thing to get the stuff into the record, how this was done, how these were made. I'm sure he'd say yes, but me and whose army is going to have time to do that? So I'm sorry, it's really frustrating, to be just on the edge of having all these fabulously interesting things available and to do, and yet here I am sitting printing owls. Owls are fun. Owls are fun. Owls are fun. Are these catchphrases? Deep rich blue. Owls are fun. If the paper tears there when it pulls off. We occasionally get tiny bits, the fiber pulls up a little bit, but that's only if the sizing has been too weak. The paper is always what we call sized. When we get the paper raw from the paper maker, it's not usable because it's just too weak. So we have to brush it with a glue mixture before we can start printing. We've talked about this and I've shown videos about this before. It's called sizing. And if we get the sizing just right, the paper's strong enough, then we can pull it off and pull it off and pull it off and it's okay. There was a question there, wasn't there, just a minute? If we go too long, I forget. Actually, I think the best owl joke we've had in the past little while is the one about the superb owl, spelled as in Super Bowl. That was good. What was that question? Programming question, please. Not now. No. Whatever, I'll try and answer later, but... Programming. My programming experience is mixed and matched. It's sort of back in the 70s on a big Unix machine. PDP, what's it called? PDP-7, PDP-11. White coat, cables under the floors. That's where it started for me. So. Working in assemblers. I had great fun. Great fun. It wasn't my job. It was I was hanging around a computer center. They let me hang around. Can you imagine that these days? God. Wiping, yeah, it's messy. I'm trying to keep the prints clean. I know they're so close here. Some of our girls, they have a tool. What they do is when they're rubbing the brush, they have a tool. They put it in here, so the tool blocks the pigment from covering the corner. I should actually probably do that, but I wonder if I should maybe just try it just to show you. Let me see if I can hop next door. Just a moment. I'll go to the bench next door for a second. Suka-san, can I borrow your... Where is it? I don't want to mess around with her stuff too much here. If it's visible or not, I don't know. Yes, here it is. I'm not supposed to play with other people's tools, but maybe we can do this. Here, what she's got is this. She just uses a piece of aluminum. She got a bunch of little bits and stuff. She's got a bit of aluminum, so she comes like this when she's rubbing around. And she gets closer, she rubs again like this, and then moves it over here. But I'm also trying to do a whole body rub here, so that doesn't do it for me, you know. But that's her tool anyway. So for me, just a little wipe. It's a bit troublesome, but it can't be helped. This paper is not going to shift. Somebody's asking about shifting. It can't move. I mean, my God. Where we have to be really careful with the paper shifting is where we've got a block with very, very small printed areas. This paper is not going to move anywhere here. You see, I had to peel it off. You know. But when I'm doing this one later today, it's just got tiny areas. The paper shifts easily, so you've got to pin it. You hold it with one hand and rub with the other hand. Oh, somebody's new here. So. No, we've got, there's a bunch of blocks. Here, this will be the block for the owl part coming up. That's next. This is the background block. Green leaves. Color for the owl. There's a set of blocks. This is, 5 faces, but 6 rubbings, because I do the blue twice. And we'll be on to the black. What time is it now? 3:30. We'll be doing the black, I think. Yeah, in a few minutes. A few minutes meaning in 15-20 minutes I'll be doing the black. Another spam link, is that so? It seems to get one a day. Today's daily spam link. Well, this thing about the mods and stuff, I don't see how a moderator is going to stop that. There's one each day. These links come in, and everybody knows what they are. And how can you stop those in advance? It means, a mod is going to approve every comment before they come in the thread? Surely that's not how this is going to work. So what can a moderator do? Is it the same account spamming? Because I can do that. I can, tell the channel to ignore that one. But I was under the impression it was a different one every day. let's see under this group, what have we got here? Just a sec. As we mentioned yesterday, the paper I've got here is, I think, 60 sheets in 4 groups of 15. This is now the 3rd group. I did 2 groups yesterday morning. Where are they? There's 1, 2, 3. There's a 4th group hiding in here somewhere. Here it is. So it's the 4th group. So I'm now going to do the same thing. I'll do 2 coats. I'll do 1 color first and then the second on top of it. So 15 sheets. So I got about 30 impressions left to go. Not sure if I'll have time to do that key block today then. Anyway. So now we go back to step 1. The first coat on the final group of 15. And the first one, the paper is harder. That second impression is much easier because the paper is flattened by the first impression. bit too streaky. Hopefully you can cover that with the next impression. Be careful, Dave. Wake up, wake up. Is it here? Brush here or mine? It's mine, I think. The shop downstairs has been really, really quiet the past few days. We're now in a, not a slump, what's the word? I don't know. During the autumn season, when, you know, maple leaves and stuff were up and running through October, November, early part of December, it's very, very busy. And then the next busy part for us will be right exactly at year end, because people come to Japan over the New Year's holidays, like end of December, from Christmas to New Year's and beyond. But nobody comes at this in-between time. So the first couple of weeks of December are really, really quiet for us in the shop. We got lots of chance to do other work. You know, the staff down has been packing lots more flea market prints, things like that. Catching up on work that's been ignored for the past few months because of all the rush. So no print parties yesterday and none today. It's time for us to get caught up on other stuff. Then there'll be another burst at the year end itself. And then January, end of January will be very quiet because very few people travel here in Japan at that time. You know. And then we gear up and get ready for March and April and May, which will be again chaos. I'm not sure what my own policy with the stream here will be come the actual end of the year and into the New Year period. I know absolutely on January 1st, 2nd and 3rd there will be nothing going on. However, the shop is closed, there's no staff here. So we're out, you know, you can forget about me and forget about everything else for January 1, 2, 3. I know big TV stations do special New Year programming. This little TV station does not have the resources to do that. So just an advance warning, 1, 2, 3, Japanese time, I won't be here. I mean, I'll be here in the building, but my God, I'm not going to be public. The door's going to be locked. I'm not sure what project I'll be working on, but it'll be something peaceful and quiet. So January 1, 2, 3 will be off here. But before that, from December, end of December, the last week of the year, I have a bit of a problem in that we're still open, we're still up and running, and there'll be quite a lot of visitors here, but that's when all the staff wants to not be here. All the staff with families and stuff, they do not want to be here at all from like December 27th or 8th through till the first week of January. So I'm to a large extent going to be running the shop by myself for the last week. Maybe Kawai-san, no, he's a single guy, he'll be here helping me. So given that situation, I'm not sure how the streaming will be. We'll think about it and update it as it gets closer. And here in Japan, the 25th and stuff is nothing special. It's a normal day for us, December 25th and so. I don't even know, but what day of the week is the 25th this year? I'm not sure. Today's 16th. It'll be Monday. So for us, it's a normal day. 25th will be Monday. So we'll actually be here Christmas Day. Special Christmas podcast. I should go to the KFC or something. Whatever. No thanks. I would imagine over those few days, the number of viewers will be way down, of course. So our schedule here, I think, just pretty much will be off Tuesday. So I'll be here through the 25th, 26th, the Tuesday I'll be off. 26th my time, which will be the 25th your time. So it works out very well. My holiday, the 26th, holiday meaning the day we're closed, is Christmas Day for you guys, so nobody's going to be watching anyway. So that works pretty well. There's 4 sheets left to get this first coat, and we'll flip it over. Have we got the light? Looks good, so you guys can actually see the reflection. Eh? So you're sort of seeing what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a reflection this way from the light over my desk. You're kind of seeing it out the window, I guess. You can see I'm keeping the pigment very, very light. Light coat twice rather than try and do a thick coat once. Eh? Oh, I know what I meant to ask. Jitsan, are you still here or have you wandered off? something I have to ask you. It's okay to ask publicly. Are you still here? Jed-san. Let me know if you're here. Something I'd like to ask you about your last visit here. I know. Maybe he's gone home. I mean, gone home. I've gone out to work. I guess Jed's gone. It's too bad. Something I want to ask. Maybe I'll catch you later. Paper's about finished, it gets worn out. Oops. Well, the printing paper today is a bit on the dry side, so this is doing okay. But if that paper's quite wet, this starts to pick up moisture a lot. And we can't just use the same one again and again and again. I keep 1, 2, 3 here and change back and forth between them so that they have a chance to dry out between impressions. But today the printing paper is not so wet, so. Okay, here's the last of the first impressions. Then we'll flip the stack. Last blank one, eh? Okay. Here's the last 15 sheets then. They've got blue on one side. Now we do the blue again. Same pigment, same paste, but a bit lighter pressure because the paper now is much softer because it's just been printed. And just a little bit different angle on the brush so that any slight streaks would get crossed over with each other and not show in the print. So. There you go, there's the before paper is much, much softer now, so I've got to really be careful. Lay back on the pressure. And we're getting some pull up, I think, a little bit. The fibers are pulling up a little bit. There we are. That's after 2. Very nice. In case you're wondering, the Cameron won't be showing up today. It's the weekend here, of course, now in Japan. This is Saturday. Cameron will never be here Saturday or Sundays. So. Today in the shop, it's going to be me and Kawai-san. Block got a tiny bit dry there. Splash some water on it. Give it a minute. How many hours are we up to now? I should know. I haven't checked in a while. My manager page here has an update on what we've done with it. This will bring it to what, 3:45, somewhere around there, I guess. So. Everybody's going quiet here today, just work. Sugasan's printing day yesterday, or the day before, she was doing the printing of this, and there's like, I forget what it is, 18 different colors, 18 blocks. She only had 4 sheets of paper in the stack. There's no point in making too many copies when you don't know what you're doing yet. So she had like 4 sheets of paper, but 18 blocks. So she'd get printing 1 copy, 2, 3, 4, and then it's time to change. Grab a new brush, grab some more pigment, grab a new block, moisten it up, So for her, the day was just a day of kind of chaos, controlled chaos, experimenting. And it's totally different from our normal day of printing for us, which is just what you've seen me do here today. 1 copy, 2 copies, 3 copies, steady, stable, quiet, But a test printing day is completely different. It's absolute, I can't say, again, not chaos in the chaotic sense in the world, but it's just not steady and peaceful. You're just busy doing this and doing that. And with the test printing, something else is really important. For us, I'm supposed to be making these blues all pretty much the same. I've got the sample in my mind, and they're supposed to be the same. But when you're doing test printing, the whole idea is to do a dark color, then a light color, and try this and try that. So you've got a bunch of variations, and you can see, what might be the best way to go forward on this. So she enjoyed it, but at the end of the day, she was, God, wow, blah, 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 frazzled, And she did that twice. She did 4 sheets test printing day 1, and then she did the same thing the next day, which was yesterday. And we've had our discussions. We've fixed the block parts that needed to be fixed. We decided how to move forward on it. Chon-san did the last final block adjustments. Some places overlapped a little bit too much, things like that. And then last night before she went home, she put the first batch of paper. She cut the paper to size, moistened it carefully, and put it in the freezer. And she'll be here on Monday morning. I'll bring the paper out of the freezer before she gets here. She'll come Monday morning and start the edition, and that the first Bossifieds print will be in production. Not sure how long it'll take her. We need 100 copies to start with, but she doesn't have the stamina to do 100 all at the same time. So she'll do, I think she split it in half, or maybe she might have split it in 3. She might be doing like 40, 40, 40. I'm not sure what she's doing to get 100. We need 40 or so for the Kickstarter fulfillment. Jed's going to want a bunch for his website because a lot of orders will come in, and we need some for the shop. So we need 100, and they'll probably be sold out pretty much straight away. And then the demand, the demand is going to be there for more, but we've got to put it aside and get going on the Dragon's Gift. So some of these might be up there on the market straight away, but then out for a while. There's a huge amount of skill here, absolutely. This looks like, nothing, just totally empty, repetitive work. But I think this is one of the most skilled jobs on the planet, Not to try and build myself up, promote myself, but it really is delicate, skilled work, every sheet. It's a combination of both things. It's a combination of, robot repetitive work. But because of the water aspect to this, is one, which is so flexible. How much water in the paper, how much water in the pigment, how much water in the nori, what's in the brush here, how hard I press, what strokes I press. And then once you get the burn in your hand, there's so, just too much. It's just experience. Once you've got a feel for it, you feel these things and go for it. But until you get that feel, it's such a struggle. I guess same as anything, I guess, but the record number of blocks in a single print, I don't know the number exactly. I mean, we don't play that game ourselves here. We're not interested in that. But when I was first here in Japan, I don't know, it would have been, I don't know, 1979 or 80 or something, whatever. When I was still working for the music store back in Canada. We came to Japan now and then to buy flutes. We were buying flutes from one of the flute companies here, Miyazawa. We were a Miyazawa dealer. And I was starting to get interested in prints back in Canada, so when I was here in Japan on flute buying business trips, I'd look up galleries, whatever, once. And I remember one day going into a place, it's gone now, it was the Ricar Museum. I don't know how they pronounced it, R-I-C-C-A-R. It was a romanized, bastardized, I don't know what the Japanese word, Rikka, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, the Ricar Museum, which was still open back then. And the day I wandered through it, they had an exhibition of one print. It's quite a long, huge, wide, long room, and it had one print. But what they had showed was all the step-by-step impressions. They had each impression, stage 1, with the block sitting right there. Stage 2 with the block, and then test proof of it. And what they had done, this is in the bubble time, eh, when there was just money lying on the floor in Japan. Just bend over and pick it up. So anything, you could think of a project, you could get it financed. And what they had done was, they had taken a Cézanne watercolor. Just gonna, they had taken a Cézanne watercolor of some nature scene. I don't even remember what it was now. And they had reproduced it with woodblock printing. And to me, honestly, this was completely, absolutely pointless. Woodblock printmaking should make prints that look like woodblocks, but whatever. They had reproduced this painting. And every little wash and shading all over this thing, the cloud would have taken 15 blocks for that cloud, 15 blocks for the next cloud, and whatever, and all that kind of stuff. They were trying to show off or whatever, anyway. And at the end of this long building, all these glass cases, they had side by side the print and Cézanne's original watercolor side by side with a little card saying, you know, we're not going to tell you which is which. It's up to you to look at them and decide. And their point being that, look how wonderful the Japanese technology is. We can reproduce anything, you know. And it must have cost them tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars. So sort of what the point being, there's no limit, you know. For a long project like that, the paper must have been dried out partway through, given a rest, then re-moistened for continuing. They must have been careful not to let it get moldy. There's just sort of no limit, you know. The limits are your imagination and how much money you want to spend. But we're not the slightest bit interested in that kind of game, you know. I suppose they made that print, they probably made an edition of it at 50 or 100 or something. They must have sold them for $1 bajillion at the time. They'd come up now in auctions or something, nobody would know what they are. If you want about large prints, this is something else too. We don't do this here. And some of our American friends here have a very interesting game. If you're on a browser now, if you want to talk about large prints, if you Google steamroller woodblock printing or steamroller printmaking or something like that, this is a really big deal over in colleges and community centers over in North America. They get 4x8 sheets of plywood, carve stuff into them that doesn't require too many fine lines, lay them on the ground, roll them up with ink, you know, oil-based ink, put paper on and bring in the steamroller, and you'll see some fun stuff. I think a lot of colleges do this for sort of a fundraising deal. All the students do a 4x8 plank, put them all in a row, get them inked up, put the paper on, the steamroller rides down the whole row and presses these things. It looks like huge fun, you know. Not our bag. If we needed some publicity one day or whatever, we could do that here in Asakusa, and the town would go nuts, I'm sure. But again, it's not my style. Our style is small and tasteful rather than, you know. Maybe we should try it one summer or something during the festival. I don't know, whatever. All together now. Deep, rich blue. This is coming out so well today. So well. I just hit it just right. Yeah, wouldn't that be a print party? A steamroller print party. Certainly not my original idea. Okay, I got 3 sheets left here. I said I was going to go on to do the black, but that's not going to happen. Obviously, now we're nearly out of time here. So these last 3 sheets. Here's the before. It just had, this has the one color I did a few minutes ago. And here's the after with the 2 tones on it. Are you trying to convince me, or? It's not that owls are fun. It's printmaking is fun. You know, it's the same thing. 40 odd years. I don't care if this is an owl or if it's the octopus or whatever. Or the print party image we're going to do downstairs. They're just simply fun. It's fun to do this, you know? And it's really, what's the word? When you do something cool and you pick it up and you say, yeah, I mean, that's what's cool about this game. Doing such a good job with such simple materials. It's just so pleasing, so satisfying. Owls or octopuses or anything in between. Speaking about the octopus, I mentioned that the shop and the stuff is going to be closed and nobody will be around and everything for January 1, 2, 3. I'm going to be here. I have lots of things to do, among which is I've got to get the key block finished for the octopus. And maybe, who knows, maybe during my scheduled downtime, 1, 2, and 3, we might do some guerrilla streaming. Who knows? Let's put the idea on the table and see what happens. I don't know. I've got to get that key block finished so that I can get moving forward with the color blocks. The color blocks for that print too are going to be, they're not just flat open color, you know, there's lots of seaweed patterns that still have to be traced. And there's all the text, the calligraphy. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Okay, here we are. This is the last sheet. Yeah, this is the last sheet, last print today. Now, what's the schedule here? This is Saturday morning. These owls have to be shipped out of here, Asakusa. They have to be shipped Sunday afternoon because Omi is waiting. We're back ordered on the things. Omi has to ship them Monday morning, Monday. So I have to have these owls finished. So what's going to happen here? Yeah, I guess I'll do the key block sometime tonight before I go to bed. So there might be an evening stream tonight. I'm not sure. There might be an evening stream tonight while I do the key block on these owls. And then tomorrow morning, this stream will be doing the colors on the owls because I've got to ship them Sunday afternoon. Today's Saturday. So I shouldn't announce this because it might not happen. I don't want to announce it if I'm not going to do it. But I'll be doing the key block for this tonight, I guess. Not sure what time. It won't be during shop hours. It'll be after the shop closing, after dinner maybe. Close the shop at 5:36, go for dinner with Kawai-san, get back 7:38. So that might be what's happening tonight from 8 o'clock or so Japan time. The key block for this. And then tomorrow morning, this stream will be the color blocks for this owl. That'll be Sunday morning. Then after that, Monday, I can't see that far. I don't know. Anyway, here we are. We're done for the day. Thank you very much. It's been a not very exciting bunch of work here. It's all got to be done. Damage your minds, yeah. Like they're not damaged enough. Why are you here? Okay, thanks very much. Same time, same place. And maybe tonight, I'm not sure. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye. Oh, look, you can see my brush now. One of our old, these are really not good brushes at all. We're struggling to find good ones. The one Ayumi-san has here, it's god-awful. She swears by it, but it's god-awful. It's too fat here and too thin at the front, and you can't control anything you're doing. Anyway, enough. I gotta get out of here. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.